Welcome, Elene Lam. It's so nice to see you. Thanks for agreeing to be part of Radio Regent and Regent Park TV today. How are you?
Great. Thank you for your invitation, and thank you for helping the community have a chance to know more about the sex worker and massage parlor worker.
Exactly. So you are the founder and executive director of Butterfly. Can you, just before we launch in, just talk a bit about yourself for a minute, talk about your career trajectory, how long Butterfly's been around, and what compelled you to start this organization?
So Butterfly is an Asian and migrant sex worker support network. So I have been involved in the sex worker movement for over 20 years. So after I moved to Canada, I was so amazed, impressed by the sex worker movement in Canada. However, we found that actually the voices from Asian and migrant sex worker is missing. So I think that is the urgency to have the organization is supporting and organizing the worker so that they can have chance to access information, know about their rights, and have the net support network, and also have a platform to advocate for their rights. Because of the race, because of the immigration status, so they are facing a specific challenge different with other sex workers. Of course, different other sex workers already face the problem of criminalization, isolation, discrimination, but like immigration status and racism add extra layer that Asian and migrant sex worker is facing.
So we'll get into all that. I'm just curious, whenever I talk to someone who's so active in what I'll call socially reparative work, when you're helping people, I want to know what the trajectory is. Do you have not everyone would come to Canada and start this whole advocacy for migrant sex workers. What led you to this place? That's my question. Do you have a background in social work?
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I never see myself as the agent of helping. So actually I have involved in sex worker movement in Asia before I moved to Canada. So that's why when I moved to Canada, I'm working with a community organization so that they're reaching out the massage parlor worker and also sex worker. And I met the woman I knew when I was in Asia, and then they say, oh, that we are facing a lot of issues here. Why don't we organize a similar organization here? So that is the story. Yeah.
Right. So how do you define sex workers? What does that mean in the context of your organization?
So I think sex worker, we define in a broader way. So anyone use sex or erotic service to exchange for money, exchange for material, exchange for safety, exchange for security, shelter, food, immigration status, or a sex worker. So that's why sometimes people say marriage for some people actually is wholesale, and then sex worker is retail. So that is something. And I think behind we believe sex work is work. So everyone should have the right to do whatever they think they want to do so, no matter economic reason, no matter a reason of exploration of sexuality. So that is something we need to respect.
And you do work, a lot of the work you do is, of course, around migrant sex workers. What are some of the challenges specifically faced by migrant sex workers?
Very good question. So in Canada, so if the people do not have permanent resident or citizen, so if they work in sex industry or sex related industry, even the legal body rub parlor or strip club, so they will violate the immigration law and policy, so they will kick out from Canada. So this is ridiculous policy. At the beginning, they claim that they protect the women from human trafficking, but it is not true. This is the law used against the migrant sex workers. So that means people, if they are under sponsorship, if they have like international student or they're refugee claimant, all of them is regulated by that. They may kick out if they're being found involved in sex industry. So another big group of people we work with is those people have precarious immigration status. So they may lost their immigration status with different reasons. They may have like temporary status. So of course, the immigration status affect the access of the right and also access of the safety, because we found it is very often they're excluded from like many essential service or support, right? So for example, vaccine. Now we are part of the network of migrant rights network. So advocate for the vaccine for all. So, they are still being excluded from accessing vaccine. For more bigger issue is like when they call the police, even in Toronto, there is access with the beer policy. It's so often people have precarious immigration status, no matter they call because of the experience rape, violence, or harassment, or they experience domestic violence. So when they call the police, they often being arrest or refer to CBSA, so that is increase the vulnerability, and then they are not able to access support when they need. Of course, we see police only one kind of support, that how to respond to the people's safety issue, because Butterfly have the strong position like policing do not make people safe. Policing do not make sex worker migrants safe. So but this is the right that people reach out or seek help from police if they want. But but this has been a huge challenge because of the immigration status, is because sex work is being criminalized. All add together, they are facing very unique challenge.
There's an image of Canada, especially among white cisgendered privileged people like myself, that Canada somehow, in terms of human rights, in terms of ethics, in terms of morals, that we're somehow above, say, the United States. What is your experience in terms of specific issues faced by migrant sex workers in Canada specifically? Are there things that are Canadian problems, say, that don't exist south of the border?
I think it's very interesting that how Canadian society or Canada government is very successful to make the illusion about this is the society that protect the human rights, right?
Yeah.
And so they are violating the people's rights with the name of protection. So for example, many people, they say that they are concerning human trafficking, and most of the organization they got most money, most powerful, and most vocal are those religion organization, mainly Christian or Catholic. They have the moralistic agenda is not ending trafficking, they are ending sex work. But by calling I want to end human trafficking, they got so many support, and they're working together closely with the anti-sex worker feminists, and also particularly the incarcerated feminists. Those feminists, they love police more than the sex worker. I don't call them feminists because they are not really support the women's rights. They support the police as the hero, right? But they work together, become so powerful. And you see so many anti-trafficking policy, when they come out, they get so many people support, they think it's the good thing. So for example, in last few years in city of Toronto, so many excessive investigation carried out in massage parlor. So when we say we don't have enough food, we don't have enough shelter, like in 2016, they spent 4,000 times of law enforcement to investigate 400 massage parlor. That the level of resources they spend. So and then it's lead to a lot of harassment, a lot of like ticketing, people being fined and place being shut down. But what is the reason they go there? They say, I'm going to anti-trafficking. I'm going to find the illegal activity. I'm trying to protect the woman. And everyone say it's good, right? The city is doing good thing. But it's not true. This is racial profiling. It is all anti-sex work or anti-massage parlor. Now, the new Ontario law is the same, because trafficking is being conflated with sex work. Sex work is not being recognized as work. And then they use trafficking as the excuse to shut down the business, to arrest, detain, and deport and surveillance the Asian and migrant sex worker, so that it's make people be more dangerous. So that's why that is something we really want to fight against and make more people to know about this. They are the white savior. They're not saving the worker. They're using the sex worker body to save themselves. They can get more funding, got more money, got more power, and get better sense about themselves, and because they become the savior hero to help other people. And I think that is something we need to have the critical reflection on. So, and we work closely with CERT, like so that we really hope that like more people can understand the harm of anti-trafficking policy, and then the real intention of that policy is increased policing, racist practice, and anti-sex work initiative that make people more be harmful.
You mentioned the racial element. I was shocked in the wake of the horrible massacre last week in and around Atlanta. I had a bit of that smug feeling about being Canadian. Oh, at least we're not like the United States. And then I looked at actual statistics, and I think it was in 2020, and this is according to the RCMP. So it's going to be it's not going to be an accurate portrayal, but there's actually more anti-Asian racist incidents in say 2020 than in the United States per capita, percentage-wise. So how can you just speak a little bit more to the racism and you know, there seems you were talking about a kind of Christian moral panic around the sex, but also how much does just sheer racism, anti-Asian racism, play into this whatever crackdown on trafficking, crackdown on sex work?
Yeah, I see racism in like a different, there is different type of racism, how they play out, right? One is like because the people is targeting the Asian, like have to insult them, or like the physical violence against them, or attack to their business. So there is a kind of visible violence, but we also see the invisible violence that is sometimes even more powerful to harm the people, and then the perpetrator you cannot see, right? So they are killing the people that you cannot find the knife, you cannot see the blood. So and I think that is something we also need to concern, so that when you look at the poverty rate, like how high is the Asian community, so and when you look at the policing, that's what I say, right? So that the policing with the Black community very differently. They frame the Black community as criminal, then they can increase the policing. They think that they are the dangerous, so they increase the policing. But for the Asian, they see them, one is like when they come together, of course, they still frame them as organized crime ring, but this is a very powerful community. But by framing them organized crime ring, they can carry out a lot of surveillance, like arrest and crackdown, right? So, and for the sex worker and massage parlor worker, again, they're framing them as the victim. So they're using the racist idea about Asian women. They are vulnerable, they are passive, they don't know themselves. So that because of the language barrier, that they cannot speak for themselves. So that's why they require someone to speak for them and help them and save them. So, and I think that is something is also very racist, but the way is not visible, particularly in the regime of helping, right? That then all this racism disappear because it's being seen as something good, something nice, is, you know, like that make the racism be invisible.
If you had political power, what would you suggest the government change to improve the lives of sex workers and migrant sex workers? What kind of policy changes would you?
Yeah, we believe in collective power. So, for example, City of Toronto is going to renew the bylaw of massage parlor. During the consultation, the worker voice is being excluded. Now the Ontario Act address like human trafficking, they conflate sex work and trafficking. They extremely increase the police power. So for example, the police can go to a hotel to get all the client information with the warrant. This is ridiculous, right? But they will not check the white people, right? They will check the racialized people. They will check the migrant, right? They will just check the trans people. And so that is how it's played out, right? So that's why we need the people being affected. We need the people from the community to have the collective power and tell the government what they need to do. They know the best, what is the best policy. They know the best, what is the way to help them. But one thing is confirmed, because I've been working with the community so long, policing is not the solution. Policing is not the answer. No matter what kind of answer, increasing more police surveillance just make people be more dangerous, because they are the source of problem. And criminalization is not the solution, because they make people be more dangerous, and they are being on the hand of law enforcement. So that is not helping.
Well, what are some of the solutions then?
So one thing is like, so actually the community already have a lot of way to protect themselves, but actually it's the law and policy make them not possible. So for example, many workers, they may have work with other people, they may hire someone to answer the phone for them or screen the client for them, or they may work with the boss, they do all this work for them, right? But because sex work is being criminalized and all these things become illegal, and the protective measure become illegal when the people share the information that how you can avoid different perpetrator, and then how to do better business, and all that kind of assistance is being seen as procuring, and people will get charged when they share this information and facilitate and help each other. We have a worker actually being arrested after she helped other worker to put the money to the bank and to transfer to their home. And all this money transition is like, oh, you take the money of other women. But the story is she take the money and help her to put in the bank because it's too dangerous in the workplace, but she's being arrested because of that. So that's the criminalization is prevent the people from having the mutual support. And the other big piece, we really rely on the community support. And we need to change the discrimination against sex workers. We need to change the discrimination against massage parlor, and we need to eliminate our racism so that we can build the solidarity in the community, and then the community member can support each other. When something happens, they will speak out. When something happens, they are willing to support. It's so often we hear from the worker when they are being robbed, raped, when they run to the neighbor store because they're being perceived as social problem. No one will help them, right? Same as the homeless people when they have issues. So they're being seen as undesirable in the society, and many people not willing to give them support, right? And even they are working with the law enforcement to take them out from the community. And I think something we really need to change is we really need to build a community and include them. And having chance to have better understanding would be very important. So actually in April, we will have an arts exhibition. So that is online exhibition, so that that you can have a chance to listen to more the voices and story from the worker. And then so today we have just launched the 8 Calls for Justice campaign to honoring the 8 people they were killed. So each day we will have different demand. So today we are fighting for the decriminalization of sex work. So, and then hope you guys will help to share from your social media. And we also want you to sign the declaration to support the migrant sex worker justice, why they are being targeted, why they are being marginalized, because the government and people with power think that they don't have someone behind them. They can do whatever against them and harmful to them. But we really want to show the solidarity. There is a lot of people at the back of the community, and being with the community and fight with the community then can make the change. So there are some major demands, including decriminalization of sex work, no policing, recognize sex work is work, changing the repeal the immigration law, and also stop the harm of anti-trafficking investigation, etc. So hope you guys will support.
Oh, absolutely. So, Elene, just say the website for people to go to look to engage in this new campaign that you guys are starting in support of the 8 people who were killed last week in the massage parlor attacks, and also to find out all of this information from Butterfly. What's the website?
Butterfly, BUTTERFLYSW.org.
Fantastic, fantastic. Elene, thank you so much for talking to me today, and I hope we can have some further discussions because this is a big topic. And kudos to you for all your incredible work.
Thank you so much, and really hope that you can help to spread the message and ask more people to sign our declaration and also share the message from the social media. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Elene. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Please do not forget to like, comment, and share to our channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. And for more information, please check out our website.